See if I can find a good spot to set the camera here. We're not in the shop today. We're in my office, I guess you could say. It's Lauren and I's office. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of 3D modeling. There we go. See me all right? I'm going to lower the camera a little bit. There you go. It's kind of awkward. I have like my desktop here, my laptop here. It's a little dark. I could see if I can turn a light on or something. Get a little more light in here. Let's see. I just came from the shop, so I'm still kind of winding down. I was working on the Honda Fit all day today, and it went pretty good. Let's see. That sounded great, huh? All right. Well, that's good enough for now. Good enough for the girls I go out with. So as you can see, I got plasticity opened right here, and we're gonna be messing around a little bit with it today. So what you see on screen here, see if I can get this figured out here. Yep, what you're seeing on screen here is a low poly EK Civic model. I think this is an EK9 hatchback here. And let's see, yep, chats and notification are turned on. I might have to move my little guy over here, you know, to the other side of the screen there. All right, a little closer, and this would be a good place. Maybe I'll put this over here, get a little more light. All right, that's a little bit better. So we're working with Plasticity. That's my modeling software of choice. And so far, I've liked it quite a bit. We played around with Blender, Fusion 360. I've used SolidWorks before. And my favorite so far has been Plasticity. So that's what we're going to be using here today. And this is a model that I created already. This is a, let's see if that shifts the mouse sensitivity here. This is an over fender that's just like the one that we made for the Civic in real life that we mocked right off the panel. So we actually now have an actual scan of the Civic. We used the einstar Vega the other day, or it was just yesterday. We used the einstar Vega to scan the actual Civic, my wide body Civic that's all made out of steel. So I'm gonna see if I can import that scan into our plasticity software today. That'll be our mesh. So I guess we could see how accurate this low poly scan is of this little EK Civic hatchback. I don't think it's very accurate, but we'll see. So I'm going to get rid of this Civic here, or at least hide it for now. And I'm going to see if I could take the file off of our einstar and see if I can load it onto our computer now. I wish I had my tripod here, but I don't. This is the best we got. All right. Now, I'm sure you just plug this in. I know einstar has their own software, their own little desktop app, but we're just going to see if we can view it just kind of like if you're plugging a flash drive in your computer. If you could just kind of pull the files off it like that. And if we can, I'll just save the file to my desktop, and then we'll move it on over to the software, and we'll see if we can play around with it. And I know this does cloud sharing too, so I could just try sharing it with the cloud, but I don't know if I can here. All right, do I have a spare USB port? I don't. Gotta have somewhere I can put this little light here. You can see me a little better. That's just a bad shadow there. Yeah, the light's not super great in this office here. It's all right. Oh, you know what? I do have a little lamp. That might work better. Let me go get some real quick. I'll be right back. got this little guy. This makes a pretty nice light. Yeah. Plug that in here. There we go. That should brighten it up a little bit. Maybe I'll even move it over here. Now we're talking. All right, now you guys can actually see me a little bit. I think I can adjust the brightness too. I'll just turn it away a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. So, let's take our einstar, plug it into our computer here, and see if we could just boop, load the files right on over. I do have a spare USB-C port on the laptop, so see how this works. See if my computer even recognizes it. Nothing shows up. Maybe this thing has to be off for it to be treated like a flash drive. Maybe I have to hit this button here. Oh. Yeah, if this thing is off. Oh, the second I plug it in, it turns on. Huh. Okay, it just wants to charge it. What if I don't want to charge it? What if I want to pull some data off it? Put the Civic back on there for you guys. It would be nice if I could just plug it into my laptop and kind of move the meshes over. That'd be good for workflow, but I don't know, maybe I have to use the cloud sharing function. It'd be cool if I didn't, but you know how it goes. I'm just trying to unleash my 3D vision over here. See, maybe there's like a menu item I'm missing here. Okay. Oh, and look at that. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so I completely missed out on these settings yesterday. There's a feature alignment and a marker alignment setting. So we were using the markers, but without having that marker alignment setting turned on, it probably wasn't even helping us out. So we should probably use that next time. Well, that's good to know. I said I'm very new to this, so I'm still kind of learning as I go. But yeah, that's... Okay, so here's the files. We got the mirror file there, and we have my fender here. So I don't want to load. Okay, so I can look at the file. This is the mesh I'm looking to import of our fender. I just got to find out how. Oh, here we go. See a little piece of paper with an arrow. That looks promising. Shining 3D Cloud or PC USB. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, and then I can name it. That's cool. And it offloads it as an STL file, which means you could take this and go straight to the 3D printer with that kind of file, or go right into Blender and edit your mesh. In plasticity, you cannot edit a mesh. I think you can in Blender though, so. There's not much to edit. We're just using it as a reference for today, so I don't think we're gonna have to really mess with it much. So we'll just call it Fender Scan, export, and we'll see if my PC. Okay, it says export successful. So I don't know. I didn't really see anything on my laptop, but maybe I missed something. This time. Export successful. Are you sure? Oh, after export, model files can be obtained via USB drive mode. So let's hit that. You can enable USB disk mode in the control center. Connect the computer using the included USB cable and access einstar/vega models folder. Retrieve the model files. Model files will occupy storage space, so please clean them regularly. Okay. Huh. It says export successful. I don't think I'm seeing anything on my laptop here. Can enable USB drive mode in the control center. Connect to the computer. Oh, maybe the einstar control center, maybe that's a desktop app I need to download. Let's see. Okay, to invoke Control Center module, simply swipe down from the top of the screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just kind of like an Android tablet. Swipe down from the top of the screen, and there is a menu item that says USB drive mode. So we'll hit that. There, I see it on my laptop. Okay, we're learning. All right, select what happens to this device. Open device and view files. Let's see, it's just kind of like it's a Android tablet. Okay, Fender Scan, and there's our STL file right there. Perfect. And drag that to the desktop. It's be kind of a small file. That wasn't too difficult. And then I'm going to head on over back to plasticity here. We're going to hide this mesh. Don't need it anymore. We'll hide our fenders as well. We don't need those. And then we'll go open. Open a new file. Do I want to open a new file? Or do I just want to import a mesh? Import. Desktop. Yeah. Is this it right here? Scan. Open. And okay, what unit do I want to import it in? Meters, I guess. I think that's how we did the original Fender, so I guess we'll do meters. That's the default. But I think that means every cube is a meter, a 1 meter by 1 meter. So maybe we want to do in centimeters? Maybe we'll do centimeters. Oh, there it is! There it is! What a mess. Okay, what does it look like if we do meters? Does it just get huge? Yeah, let's do centimeters. I think that's gonna be the move. Well then, oh wow, what if we do millimeters? I guess we're going in. I think we might have to go in millimeters here. So it's kind of scaled down a little bit. We'll do centimeters. I guess just the other pieces are just way bigger. Here's that Civic in comparison. So. And we either have to scale this way down if we want to put it on the low poly Civic, or we'll just work with our mesh here. Dang. So yeah, I guess we'll just do centimeters for now. Okay. And then we have a new mesh. So let's see if we can start playing around with that. I should be able to just boop, unplug the einstar. Now we won't need this for the rest of the day. But we learned a couple more things about how to use this guy. Now we know that if you're using the markers, you got to enable that marker locating mode. So that's would have been nice to know before. All right. So we'll get rid of the EK here. See if it lets me hide it. Oh, I got to deselect this here. Get rid of that guy. Click on our fender scan. Press G to move. And we'll try to move it over to the center point there. It's kind of a messy little mesh here. Okay, it seems like the second we deleted the EK... Okay, we're kind of right above the center point. And we're going to want to rotate it this way. A little bit this way. This way. And this way. Oops. Kind of like so. Pretty nice scan. And you can even see the, in the software they have a light there. You can see it kind of reflect. Very cool, very cool. Okay, and although we have this excess scan data right here, you can clearly see the line where I do have like a little bit of rubber right there, a little bit of Sikaflex on the fender, so we know exactly where we're going to have to build the kit to. And then those little bumps, I guess since I didn't have the marker tracing mode enabled, it doesn't know those are markers, so it just shows them as little bumps, so that's okay. And then you can see exactly where the paint line is. Yeah, it shows where that paint line is because it is two different layers. So let's see if I can open up our, put one of the fenders on here. Oh, it's so small in comparison. So I don't think, we want the other one. We want this fender. Let's select that guy, bring her on over, and see just how much it lines up. Oh, maybe we do want the other side. Okay, yeah, we do want the other one. So I'll hide this, take this guy, and we'll bring her on over. We're gonna have to scale it up significantly. We'll see how close that low poly model was to real life. It's kind of cool to have them side by side. All right, rotate. Okay. Move it up. Move it back. It might not be too far off. We got to scale it down a little bit. I went a little too big. And I'm trying to just scale it evenly. I don't want to... It might not be that far off. Oh, damn it. Okay. Whoop. I don't know what that does. Oh, did I accidentally join these? Okay, there we go. All right, looks like I got to scale her down a little bit. Oh, you know what? I hit A and I think it might have automatically aligned it. That'd be kind of cool. I'm not sure if... I don't know what the A button does. But I might have automatically aligned it because it seems like it's aligned very well right now. I haven't really messed with it too much. I don't want to push the face. Oh, there we go. So align. Huh, I don't know. So, A is just select all. So it didn't align it. We just lined it up manually just fine, I guess. Just on accident. So let's go ahead, select this guy again, move it around. So we've got to scale her down a little bit. Moving it. yeah, it might not be that far off, guys. So the actual alignment of the fender is really good as far as how it's referenced to the orient, or how it's oriented in this design space, I guess you could call it. So instead of rotating our part now, let's just rotate this mesh. And then, yeah, that's pretty close. That's not bad. And then we'll move it on over. Oh, it's way out of whack. So I still have to figure out kind of how to orient it exactly how I want, but not looking too bad. We'll go down a little bit. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Okay. Bring this out. We're pretty close. That's not bad. We're getting a little bit closer. Go down. So that low poly model was actually pretty damn close to the actual car. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So it looks like I'll have to rotate the scan a little bit, but I think it's easier if I just rotate our fender here. Just a tiny bit, I think just a couple degrees. So I went a little too far. Oh. I might just have to adjust the angle this way. Degrees is pretty close. Maybe it was 7.9. 7.7 maybe? Okay, that's looking pretty good. Wow. Okay, so that model that we were working off was pretty close. They must have been working with the scan. All right, let's bring her on in. So we're going to be moving in the x-axis. Oh, not the x-axis. That'd be the y-axis, actually. Moving that y-axis. Yeah, not bad at all. And then my fender that I made actually goes, well, the one I have molded in the car is two pieces. You got the part that's molded into the steel body, and then the part that's molded into the bumper. And this little tab you see right here, that's where it's molded into the bumper. So that's why that's sticking out. This extra piece right here, that's gonna have to go. So I might want to go into Blender and get that part removed, because can't do that in plasticity, unfortunately. You can only create meshes. I don't even know if you can create a mesh. You can only create objects, I believe. But yeah, let's see how the actual fender's looking. Okay, so the model that we made is actually less aggressive offset than the real life. So I'm actually wider in real life than the body kit that I made on plasticity. That's good to know. Now I wish I would have scanned a factory fender. I think I have seen an EK Civic scan online though. I think it's common enough. So, okay. There's a little gap in there. Not much though. It's pretty even. Okay, I could rotate it a little bit out. So we'll select this again, rotate it, and just a tiny bit that way. That might be good. So it's touching there. You can see, yeah, that model was pretty good, because you can see we're conformed. Not bad at all. But then we'll sketch up something new today as well. But that is cool. You can see kind of inside the mesh here. And then that's the fender liner. You can see a little bit of the jack stand. That's a bracket for the joys of many scan parts together. Yeah, of joining many scan parts together. Yeah. So, Steve64464, thanks for joining us. You're the first person chatting it up today. So yeah, this original object right here, I'll pull it out for you guys. Oops. this guy, we made this based off of this mesh right here. So it's based off this low poly model. Oh, I've done it with my Revo Point menu. Can drive you crazy. Yeah. Yeah, do you have any advice? So like when you, I don't know if you've used plasticity, but when I've loaded other models into plasticity in Blender, sometimes you load it in and boom, your model is, the origin point is centered perfectly on the model. So it's kind of mirrored over the x-axis or the y-axis, and then it's kind of centered on the z-axis. I had that when I imported the EK model here, but when I imported my own mesh, it's just all over the place. I hear that it's kind of like an art form in itself, aligning your own mesh. So I'll get that figured out one day, but yeah, this over fender that we made here, this one is just one that I basically drew off of this low poly model right here. And this the scan you hear, this is a real life scan off the einstar Vega, and it was just a quick scan. It was my first scan. I didn't have all the settings in the right spot, but it worked really well. The Revo Point software tends to handle that. It has recognize and auto align. Oh, there we go. I wonder if plasticity has auto align. I don't think it does. I'll look real quick. The einstar Vega, I mean, because the Revo Point, is that einstar too, or is that's a different brand, isn't it? Let's see. Okay, Revo Point is its own different brand. What Revo Point do you have? Do you have the Morocco standalone scanner, or do you have another one? Revo Point has the marker dots to assist, but it needs so many. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if plasticity has its own alignment or auto alignment for meshes in the 3D space here. By selecting the center of a face, pressing G and F, and moving it close to the y-axis. Okay, so they're just doing it. Go to G, move it freeform, then F for freeform, transform. That should allow you to drag the object and snap it into the center of a face or a circle and so forth, assuming I understand the question. Oh, okay. Maybe you can center the selected object by then just right-clicking it twice. I'm not sure if that's helpful. So this is also a form from a long time ago. So sometimes you could double-click on it. I don't know. I mean, we're close enough right here. We don't have to move it too much. Also, the scanners hate daylight, so that's always fun. I've heard that, yeah. What I was having trouble with is it seemed to not like so I have like white fluorescent lights going along the ceiling in my shop, and on the parts with the black paint, my car's buff is very glossy. It's like a mirror finish. So where there was black paint and it was refracting the light from the ceiling, the scanner did not want to pick that up. So we put a little bit of dust on the car, just from like sanding dust I had around, from like resin sanding dust, and boom, it picked it up perfectly. And we were able to get this scan pretty damn fast. Yeah, it looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can align this again. So this is based off the model, but then we're going to do a new one today. The IR light upsets it. Oh, okay. I also have, I have infrared heating in my shop. I wonder if that has an effect on it. That would suck. But yeah, let's line this up. We'll do, just to see how it compares, and then I'll show you guys the workflow of creating my own body kit off of this scan right here. So we're pretty close. I just have to rotate it a little bit. That way. Yeah, this is not too far off. This isn't too bad. And looks like I got to scoot you forward a little bit. Okay, so the low poly model wasn't perfect, so we'll make a new one. And then, yeah, I suppose we could even 3D print one out. That would be kind of cool, but it would take a while. So it doesn't reach as far. So what they probably did is maybe they used the facelifted version of the EK, which is the 99 to 2000. And Okay, yeah, dry shampoo hairspray can help. I'll try that. Yeah, people say like different like foot powders or like body spray powder works pretty good. I think I have something like that in my bathroom I could use. But this is as close as I think we're going to get it aligned. So yeah, our low poly mock-off wide body kit is pretty similar to the real deal that we made here. And it's not too far off at all, actually. So that's cool to see. That's very cool. And I know this scan is accurate. It's at least accurate to, I think, 1.5 millimeters. Okay. So now I'm going to show you guys kind of the workflow if you guys do not have, if you guys don't have your own body kit already, or if you're kind of starting from scratch. I'll be right back. Get something to drink. And I kind of got a pee, but that can wait. And I'll have to make a post too to let people know, hey, I'm streaming right now. That light is crazy. But yeah, these streams have been fun, especially when we actually have people in the chats. All right, now everybody knows we're streaming. So we'll go ahead and we will hide the that first little fender that we made. And we're going to work just off this scan alone today. So see if we can make a new kit, maybe a new style. But yeah, I'm going to try to just replicate it and maybe make something that we could 3D print. I mean, this is close enough where I think I can make an over fender off of this model right here. So let's see. I practiced a little bit these previous couple days. Let's crack it open our Sprite and get to work here. Let's see. I guess I can open the YouTube app on my phone so I can see how many people are tuned in. Usually people start joining in like 30 minutes into the stream. All right, so we got 6 people in here, so that's something. All right, and then we're going to begin our workflow then. So here we go. This is where it's all starting. We're centered enough, and we're ready to basically make our own body kit or over fender kit based off of this scan right here that we know is actually pretty accurate. So it all starts with a bunch of lines. So we're going to start with this body line here. There's a slight curve, and what's nice about plasticity is although I can't edit the mesh, I can snap new lines to the mesh, which is really nice. So we're going to start with the spline curve line, and then see it's already looking to snap to the face. So it knows there's a face right here. So if I click, we'll go right under the body line. And that's nice to have the lighting so you can see the shadow just like in real life. So we'll go ahead, hit that. It should be snapped to the face. And we'll just kind of hang out right in that shadow there. You can move on over. We'll just go right under that body line. There. And a about, zoom in a little bit. There. And I tell you what, already, and then I hit right click to, or left click to stop the line. And as you can see, if I go from the top, it hugs that natural body line. So the front of the Civic it actually curves in. So when you're using like a universal fender flare on the Civic, they don't actually work very good because as you can see, towards the back of the car, the fender flare doesn't stick out nearly as much as it does towards the front of the car. So you really have to work with the original body lines of the Civic if you want it to look even and actually have the edge of the fender flare sit flush with the face of the wheel. But I tell you what, snapping lines to an actual scan is so much easier than snapping lines to this low poly model. So for example, let's just zoom in on this really quick and I'll just show you guys what I mean. If I wanted to take a line and snap it to this guy, it likes to lock to these like low poly vertexes here. So it doesn't give you very much flexibility. It really wants to jump around. And to get a specific point, you really got to zoom in there and it gets kind of messy. So I think with this actual scan, we'll be able to make a better kit faster than using a low poly model. So anyone who wants to get a kit made from me, I highly recommend either have the car for me in person or get a really nice scan done by a professional. Or at least a higher grade scanner. I say like an einstar vega. I think if you want to use a Creality, like the Raptor and Raptor Pro are really good scanners that are kind of, you know, still budget friendly for the average consumer. But they're expensive. I mean, they're still, for these decent scanners, you're looking at, you know, $1,000. But then, yeah, this should be pretty easy here. You can see where the line breaks up. We're just going to go right on the inside of that. So, whoop. And I have the mesh as white, but you can actually make it whatever color you want. But the white's pretty easy for me to read. How's that? That looks pretty good. I hit the right or the left, yeah, right click to confirm the line. It's pretty cool. And then those should be joined. I think we're all right there. I believe I started there. Okay, if the car in the garage / work, it would be so much easier. I have to work with the weather and daylight issues. And I'm sorry, man, that sucks. Having it in the shop is nice. Yeah, maybe if I had a little bit more even lighting, it'd be a little even more simple, but yeah, it's not too bad. And this is my first scan, so if that tells you anything, we were able to get this result. I have zero experience working indoors, and yeah, it must be a lot nicer. Let's see. Let me double check that I got those at the same point. Yep, looks like it. Yeah, intersection. Okay, yep. You want to make sure that the points where the lines intersect are actually touching each other. And then down the side of the car we go. Making sure the line doesn't want to disappear under the surface. And we're just kind of moving fast today. All right. Actually, we might want to redo that one. Let's go control point. We'll click on the line. I think if I hit extrude face of curve, I can make this even longer. I don't want to do that. We'll just delete the line, start over. I accidentally, instead of dragging, I accidentally ended the line. So you could either select the curve and hit Shift X to dissolve it, or you can just press delete. Yeah, let's make sure we're on that point. And then we can zoom out. And it seems like if you can avoid using too many points, you'll be better off. You get smoother curves with less vertexes. Okay, so this will be an interesting spot here. You can see it wants to dance around a little bit because of the scan data is maybe not too accurate. We're going to kind of pan over here. We probably want to start another line there because it wants to bow the whole thing. So we'll end that line there. So we got 3 lines. We're going to continue trying to close it up here. Right there, hit there. And we'll just kind of work down the face of this line here. I'll do there, there, there. A little closer, there, there. So we're hugging it pretty good, and you can even adjust those. You can adjust those control points afterwards too. But who knows? Maybe I want to do different. Try a little different technique there. It's a little rocky. Maybe too rocky for using curved lines. The Revo point needs marker dots. Such huge objects too. Makes car look like it's caught something horrific. Biological germ warfare disease. Damn. Do you notice it's like if you can get the scan done faster, does it give you better results? Or does it benefit, when you're using the Revo point, does it benefit you to kind of go over it multiple times? There we go. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, some of these areas it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to use straight lines instead, but it really wants to curve that. I don't want to curve it. But even if it does end up kind of wonky and curved like this, you can always click the line, enable control points, and then you can kind of just bend around back into shape. Whoop! So it's not the end of the world. You can always go back and edit. And then you want to look at it from different angles. So we're not perfectly aligned here, and this I think is where the having your mesh oriented perfectly helps with these kind of situations. Oh, Emanuela, welcome to the live. I'm using Plasticity 3D software, which is so far my favorite 3D modeling software that I've used. But yeah, we can clean that up by using these control points, kind of shifting it around. So if you want to pull it out, then you kind of got to view it from the side, and you can pull it away from the car. I must not have used too many control points here. So let's try, let's just try doing straight pieces here. There's no need. We can do straight pieces and then add actual fillets. I think that's going to be a better move. I think the more you look over the target, the more, true. So yeah, we're at a pretty good point there. Let's just do straight lines because it's kind of just like a trapezoid here. So I think that's going to be the best move for us. And then I believe you can always fillet those points. Yeah, see how much faster it is just to do that? Boop. Much better. Actually, that last one, I want to extend that just a little bit more. So we'll go here. We'll go here. And we'll take it to about here. We'll call that good. There we go. Much better. And if you look straight, I mean, we're not straight up and down, but you know what I mean. If we look straight on, it's straight on. So we're good there. We can actually move this control point, move the line just a little bit over, and maybe even out a tiny bit. So that's good enough for the girls I go out with. I mean, we're talking millimeters here, so that's not bad. Make sure those are snapped together. I don't remember if I did or not. So we're gonna redo it again just to double check. I think we were. Yeah, I think we're snapped together there. So we'll just leave that. Oh, and then I can always double check by hiding the mesh. Boop. Okay. Yep, I think we're good there. I think we are good. Kind of hard to tell sometimes. Yep, that looks all right. There we go. That's what we're dealing with so far. Bring back the mesh and keep working. Okay. Yeah. So this is pretty straight. So let's do a straight line here. Actually, it does curve in a little bit. I keep keep saying stuff and then going back on it. Okay, so we want to end here. Face, face, move on down. Face, and then I think I am going to go down with it here. But even getting to this point where I can kind of whip up these parts at this speed, it took a lot of practice. I've been messing around with the saw for quite a bit lately. Okay, so you see how it kind of bends in past the body? So we're going to go ahead and grab this control point and move it on out. Boop. And there we go. That's a little better. We can even go farther. Whoop. And there we go. Now you can see the blue line hugs the body of the car very nicely all the way down the curve. And we will end the kit right about there. See if there's another control point for us to work with. Oh yeah, I got a couple we can see on the back side. So sometimes you gotta hide it. Move the control point forward just a tiny bit. Move this one forward just a tiny bit. And then bring it on back. And hey, there you go. You can see the blue line. Okay, now we gotta go across. That's just gonna be a straight line. Actually, no, this one's not a straight line either. If I remember right, yeah, if you look from the bottom here, ignore this mess here, it does actually kind of swoop out. There, 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 and there. Skip over this mess here. I don't want to deal with that. There, there, and there. All right, there's the bottom line. Follows the curve of the car. Just wham, perfect. So yeah, it does look straight in person, but yeah, if you get underneath the car and look upwards, you can see there's definitely a curve there. All right, so now on my car, there is a gap in between the edge of the fender here and the body of the car, but in the products or the kits that I want to sell, I don't want to have that gap there. I want to be able to kind of block any rocks from shooting out in between the fender and the body of the car there, and it kind of looks ugly. So we are going to cover that up with our own line. So again, here we go. Zoom in. Here we go. Face, 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 and that'll go. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for that. Make sure we're looking all right there. Looking all right there. Yep, that looks good. Now, I'm going to connect this point to this edge somehow. I'm trying to think the cleanest way to do that. Just want this to go straight down. I think the next move for us would actually be going over the edge of the flare itself. Or if we want to make a different style kit today, maybe we can change it up, do a different style body kit. But yeah, maybe first we'll just replicate this real quick, and then maybe we'll work off of that. So I'll do this line real quick. I'm going up a little high. Yeah, I got a little bit out of slant here, which is kind of making it a little difficult, but not too bad. There we go. I'll just go to that edge there. There we go, much better. And then it's like, all right, how are we going to do this arc here? You can use a circle if you want. I've seen people do that. We could use a circle, or we could just draw a line going all the way across. Using these spline curves, they actually do a pretty good job. I could probably do this curve in about probably 4 or 5 points, so I think we'll try that. We'll just kind of ride that ridge there. And see, it kind of knows the geometry now. We can go all the way down to that point right there. Yeah, we'll call that good. Look at it from all angles. Everything looks good. And yeah, you can see that kind of natural curve from the top. You can kind of see how they're both kind of, I mean, the blue line really sweeps away from the straight up and down line, and the yellow line, it hugs it a lot closer. So now we're going to go ahead and connect this line to somewhere down here. Maybe kind of, I'll bring it kind of over here. We're going to kind of change up the design a tiny bit. Select the end curve there. And we'll end the kit right about there. And do we want it to have a curve? Yeah, why not? That wouldn't be bad. I don't think that'd be bad at all. Get a little curve and connect. So yeah, not too bad. So it'll be a little bit more sleek looking with that curve there. Okay. Now we got to section out the flare. So we're going to draw another line. This time it's going to be going over the where the flare meets the body. So gotta have a line there. Here we go again with the spline curve. We're going to go right on that paint line. I think that'd be a good spot. And we could start by intersecting this here. And we just move on down the bench. We could even intersect here if we wanted to. Or we could stay on the face. We'll just stay on the face. We'll get close, but we don't have to intersect it all the way. Move on down the crack. All the way to here. And then, yeah, I molded my fender right into that piece there, but maybe for the kits that I made, maybe for the kits that I make for the public, I won't do that. Maybe I'll find a new way to kind of blend that in. Might as well come up with a new design today just to make it a little more entertaining. And we'll have that go right down to there. So that is our new flare shape. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, now we'll connect those guys. That should make a little triangle. We kind of want to make sure this curve here is similar to the curve we have. We want to make sure we follow, kind of conforming to the car. I don't like how that curves up. We'll go down a little bit more, and then go here, and here, here, and then we'll meet at the end there. Perfect. So now we can hide the flare, or hide the scan, and you kind of see what we're working with. There you go. There is basically a skeleton of our fender. So you can see it from straight on. It looks okay. You kind of get the general idea. And then here, I think we're going to have to add some geometry. I think we're going to want to have to add a line between here and here, just to kind of close that off, so we can make a couple different panels. Yep. Yeah, we'll add a line between kind of this here and here, because we're going to want to make a triangle basically in that corner. So this, here, and here. We're going to close that off, make a little triangle so we can patch that hole. And do we want to have the mesh there for it? Yeah, we might as well. So these can actually be straight, but they might look better if we curve them. That. And we'll just try to blend it a little bit to there. And it might not be the prettiest looking kit. I mean, we're just kind of, okay, and there's our triangle there. Kind of a weird looking triangle, but it should be okay. I guess, yeah, these points are already connected, so we do have a triangle there. And we could try, just as a quick test, we'll use the patch function. So I'll select that edge, and, well, we gotta go to edge select here. So we'll select that edge, that edge, that edge, and I believe Shift J patches it. And there we go, we patched the hole. So there you go, we actually have a panel. It's pretty cool. And you can kind of see it curves up a little bit. So we could change that by moving this line, but we do got to get rid of the patch first. So that actually ends up in, I believe, once the patch is done, then it shows up in a new section called Sheets. So we're going to go ahead and take that, and we'll delete that. And then we'll go find our control points. And maybe we'll just move this out a little bit. So it's like that. So it doesn't really cave in so much, because that looked a little strange. So now that we're happy with that, we'll go back to edges, select. Oh, but did that break? Oh, but that broke the connection there. So we got to make sure, we got to redraw this line. So we're going to want to turn the mesh back on for that. There, and there. Okay, yep. Yeah, if you don't have that intersection, it's going to look kind of strange. And maybe we'll turn the control points on again. Let's make it move this down just a little bit more. I think that'll look good. And this can go a little closer to the car. And then, since I moved that, I'm going to have to redraw this line again. Are we happy there? Maybe we'll move it out just a tiny bit more. I think there will be good. And then we'll intersect this maybe a little higher up. So we'll go to select edge, get rid of this one again, redraw it. And then draw it about there. I think I'm happy with that. Let's patch that and see if it looks a little bit more normal. There you go. That's a little bit more like it. So yeah, you kind of see how it kind of blends off the body of the car, blends into the flare. Now, I can use the patch tool again, or I can use the loft tool and use this edge here as a guide. I might actually be able to use both these edges as a guide. So, and then again, I have another tool too called X-Nerves that's even better than using the patch or the loft. You get an even smoother surface. But since this is a nice four-sided curve, I guess we could use patch. Yeah, we'll try. I'll use my X-Nerves function just to show you guys that one. I paid for the studio version, so I had this function. It just gives you a smoother, result. I think everywhere where you can use the patch, you can use the X-Nerves function. Boop. And you get to play with it a little bit more. You kind of select how it flows. So you can see like a G1, G2, and a G0. So G0 is going to be closest to flat. It's going to be similar to the patch. G1 is going to be a little bit in between. And then G2 is going to flow with the body lines the best. So it'll kind of flow with the surrounding body. So if you see boundary over here, you got next, normal, natural. Adjacent, it's going to change that depending on what the panels look like around it. So it all flows like a nice smooth, kind of like a Tesla, how all the panels kind of flow into each other. So go ahead, we'll call that good. And then we'll do the same thing right here. So boop, boop, and boop. I don't know if it's look at that edge, but there we go. Okay. So yeah, we'll try the X-NURBS tool, see how it looks. Oh, sorry about that. We'll do X-NURBS. See how that looks. Oh, look at that. Okay. So yeah, it must be on G. It's kind of like G0 continuity, so that's flat out from the car. That looks pretty good. And I think if we use, okay, and then select guides. So that's just keeping it flat. And I believe, if I say select guides, I click this edge as a guide. There we go. It kind of changes it to kind of flow a little bit better with the edges. I'll do the same thing over here. Boop. Oh, doesn't like that. I think it maybe only wants me to use one edge as a guide. Try that one more time. Like I said, I'm still learning. So there's that. And then select this as a guide. And let's see if I change these. Does it change? Not here. Okay. Probably because I don't have many adjacent panels. It's all just wires at this point. But that looks pretty good to me. I like the kits where it's not too swoopy. Just kind of comes out nice and flat. That's how I have the car. And I suppose that's kind of how we use this. I think if I were to put a line down the center, let's try that. Just for the fun of it. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we're just going to draw a line in the center here that kind of maybe dips below. So if you look at the two lines side by side here, maybe we'll draw a line, like a curve, that kind of dips down here, and we'll try using that as a guide and see if that changes our... I kind of wish I had friends into this scanning stuff. Makes me feel weird for having such interest. Well, you can have online friends that are into scanning stuff. That works too. Okay. Yeah, I got an idea. So let's bring our mesh back. See, we got 4 people watching. That means everyone's really entertained. We'll bring our mesh back. I'll draw a line. We'll drop it down and then use that line as a guide. See what happens. Just to kind of experiment today. And it doesn't have to be, the guideline actually doesn't have to be intersecting anything. So I'll just kind of keep it in the center. And we'll see if this kind of gives us a different result. I think I've seen one person do this online, so okay, I got a little crooked there, so try to fix that. Everything's looking good. Yep. And we'll put that maybe, yeah, I'll just put that right there. Alright, that's good looking. Just kidding. I snapped it to the wrong face. Oh, it's weird, it wasn't snapping. The control point, let's see if I can just bring that on back down. Down you go. Over. And down. And over. And down. And over. Let's see what we're looking like here. Maybe we want to redraw that one. It might have been better just to do a circle. Yeah, let's do a center circle based off this point right here. Oh, actually, that's not even centered in the wheel well. Never mind. We're going to do a curve again. All right, is that happy? All right, that's much better. Okay. So now we'll hide the scan again. Use our einstar. I suppose I got to select the boundaries before I hit that button. I think when you use the einstar, it's going to automatically set to whatever's like the last thing you touch. So we're gonna go edge selection, hit that edge, that edge, that edge, and that edge. Then we'll do the X NURBS. That's kind of a funny word. Hit that, and then when we select the guides, we'll go in and we'll hit the line. That'll be our guide. Perfect. Okay. So now it's using that as a guide. And we can hit G2. So it kind of lowers the center a little bit. Let's take that guideline. So we'll go back. We're going to take this line that we're going to use as a guide, and we're going to lower it down a little bit. We're just going to go straight down with it. So then when you look from the side, it's kind of shaped like that. Now see if that makes a difference. See if that makes it freak out or not. Maybe, I think I want to make sure. I might have to raise it up a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm not dipping below that line. That might make it get weird. Okay, that's probably going to be good. So we're going to get a little bit more dip there, I think. Let me just trim this back, maybe. I'll trim a little of this off. Okay, here we go again. So, select the boundaries. I kind of hold shift, helps me select the other lines. Do X NURBS. And then to select our guide, we'll hit this. Boop. There we go. Oh, and there you go. There you have it. Now you have a nice, smooth curve. So now you have kind of that cinched flare style. Very nice. I think more people like that style compared to just flat. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Okay. Now another idea I have is maybe we'll draw some lines from here to here, here to here, and then maybe we'll kind of dish that, kind of blend that in a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, dude, that's sweet. That looks good. I like that better than the flares I got on the car, I think. That's not a bad look at all. And then I'll show you guys how to thicken it so it's not just a flat surface. But yeah, that's sweet. I could actually take this straight up. We could take this piece right here that I made, turn it into a solid, 3D print just this, or maybe make some holes so you could screw it to your car and sell that just as a flare. So it wouldn't have to be an over fender panel. You could just sell this as a form-fitting flare. So we have something really cool right here already. But yeah, let's keep going here. We'll bring the car on back, and then looks like we got some lines to draw. So I'll draw. I guess we could do a straight line maybe from here. And we'll intersect it here. And go a little down. Okay. And then maybe we'll do the same thing over here. Yeah, we'll just come up with our own. We'll come up with our own unique design today. Yeah, this should look cool. I want to get it on that curve there. Okay. It's a little strange. I could probably dip it down a little bit. It's just kind of hard to line it up here. So I'll get the intersection. And I want to do another intersection. On the curve. And we'll go down a little bit. I think right there will be good. Double check by hiding the scan. Hiding our sheets. And okay, so that looks pretty cool. Then maybe we'll do, what's another way we can make this look good? Well, we'll try the X NURBS function and see if it kind of blends it for us. Maybe that's the next panel we'll make. And if you guys are new to the chat, feel free to say hi and ask any questions you got. So let's go ahead and hide the scan. And we'll select these 4 edges and use the X NURBS tool and see what happens. We turn these guys back on. So that edge, that edge, that edge, and that edge. Here's the X NURBS. Cannot satisfy tolerance requirement. Okay, so it does not like that. Why doesn't it like it? I don't know. Sometimes that means that you got a line that's not intersecting, and it looks like that might be what's going on right here. I think we got a line that's not intersecting. Yep. So that point looks good. That point looks good. Looks like we got a problem right here. There's a gap. It's a little gap, but it's enough where it's going to mess it up. So I'm going to have to redraw that line. Good catch, guys. Yeah, it looks like it does until you get real close. And it's like, oh, hold on. That ain't right. Maybe it'll be easier for us to draw that line when we're kind of in the... we just look at the lines. There we go. So make sure we're looking kind of straight on. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll call that good. Now let's see if we can do the x-nubs function. Edge, 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 edge. Should really make a keyboard shortcut for this. Please work. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay, so it decided to bulge out instead of swoop in. So we don't want that. I wonder if we can get it to conform the other way. Maybe we could draw a couple lines going this way and use those as a guide. I don't think that'd be a bad idea at all. So let's try that. Otherwise, let's see. Try G2, G1, see if that makes a difference. No. Okay, maybe for select guide, we'll hit this. Or hit this. No, it doesn't like that. So we're going to have to draw our own guide. Let's do... maybe let's do like a bridge. We'll do a bridge curve. Oh, my wife just got home. Welcome home. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so don't say anything too crazy.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, no problem. I think I could do a curve here. I don't really know how to do these bridge curves. Nah. I still got to figure those out. We'll just do a spline curve. Here. We'll do the midpoint here. And then I think we get a control point in the center there. What are you laughing at? I think we can actually rebuild that line. Yeah. It's allowed. Mwah. I like you. On that line. Okay, that'll give us a couple control points. And we'll move it on back. And then we'll try to use this as a guide and see what happens. I don't know if it'll work or what, but it might just kind of... We can even bring it over here a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out. Okay, there we go. Select. Okay, so it's all messed up. But then we're going to select this as a guide. Boop. And okay, so it conformed there, but it still wants to stick out over here for some reason. I don't know why that is. Maybe you'll have to do one more panel here. I do quad-sided? No. Oh, what was that? If I do match, oh, it changes a little bit. Maybe this is the panel that we should probably do last. Maybe we'll do the top and the bottom panel first. That might help. Or maybe add a couple more dimensions. We might just be confusing it. So maybe if we add a line there, and then a line there and there, we could do 3 separate lines. Who knows? So we'll go like this. Might not be perfect. And then we'll go like this. And then we'll just do 3 separate panels, I guess. So here, 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 and here. Ah, it doesn't like that. That should work just fine. Got good intersections. What if I do here and here and use the loft tool? Well, it likes that. So I guess we're using the loft tool. Go here. Oh. Can you tell I'm new at this? The loft tool, and then use the set edge as a guide. So that works okay. I'll do the same thing over here. I'll do the same thing right here. So that might give us kind of a cool look. So it goes from three-dimensional, and then it kind of works its way to flat. And then if we wanted to, we could take these edges, and I think we can fillet them. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we'll have to wait till it's a solid. But that's a good way to kind of blend that into the panel. So speaking of which, let's see if we can close up. Let's see if it lets us close up this gap here. So that. I think it usually prefers four-sided shapes, but we're going to go ahead and give this a shot anyway. Hey, it worked! Cool! Oh, and it worked really well. Okay, so it bulges out a little bit. Let's see. I can kind of play with it a little bit. I think I can do flatness. That'll kind of bring her back in a little bit. There we go. Don't need it to be too crazy. So flat would be like, yeah, G0 continuity, but can't seem to change the continuity here. But that looks pretty good. Doesn't have any weird dips or anything. Kind of flows very nicely. And then, yeah, these flow well together too now. Make sure it doesn't want to dip towards the body of the car too much. I think we're good. And then changing the tension. I'm not sure what that'll do. Don't make too much of a difference. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Quad-sided, doesn't want to do it. So I'll bring this down to 0. Can I go in the negatives? No. But I think that looks pretty good there. And yeah, you can see how it kind of wants to form to this guy. It almost like reads your design language and kind of works around that, which is pretty slick. I don't know if I'll be able to do this whole top panel. We can give it a shot. We can definitely give it a shot. If this works, I'm going to be very impressed. Oh, and look at that. Just by selecting those edges, it's changing this one. Interesting. Oh, it's because it wants to use those as guides. Oh, hold on. I got to get out of here. Hold the phone. So I don't think I can loft that. Nope. Okay. Over here. Okay. Is that the same shape as it was before? I think so. Flatten this back to 0. And that should work. I don't think I see too many crazy dips. I think that works pretty good. Okay. Very nice. And then I think I can hide the lines too. Oh, not yet. Oh yeah, I can hide the curves. So if I go down here, select this, and then hide. Okay, oh, you can still see the creases though. But yeah, you can see just kind of how nice that flows and just how nice and shiny and smooth that surface is for the fender flare. That's very nice. All right, now yeah, we're gonna try to fill out this top portion here with the X-NURBS function. I don't know if it's gonna work. Like I said, if it does, that's gonna be awesome. Holy shit! No way! No way! Yo, that is sweet. That's like almost perfect. That is perfect. Oh my gosh, that is exactly what we wanted right there. Damn, that looks good. And I kind of like that style there too. We could smooth that out, but I kind of like how it slowly goes flat and then blends in. Without the lines, obviously, it would look a little bit better. I think there's going to be a way I think once we make it a solid, we can get rid of those lines. But I'm happy with that, and the flatness looks good. It conforms really nicely. I think if I go to control points, yeah, I can move it around a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. I think I can move some stuff around. Yeah, that flows so nice. Check that out, guys. Look at the backside of that. Sheesh. All right. I'm happy with that. Hit select. All right. So then this little control line here, I don't think I need that anymore, but I'm just going to leave it there since it helped us out. Now here's the part where I was a little confused before when I was making fenders. So before, I'd select faces, or actually I'd have all these on. I'd highlight the whole thing, and I'd use the thicken command to change it from a sheet to an actual part, or an actual solid. So we'll try this and see if it gives us any errors, or see if it makes our part look weird. If it does, there's one other technique I want to try. Okay, it does make the part look weird. So see how you have these like weird vertices and stuff intersecting? That clip comes out. That's what happened when I did this fender down here. See what I mean? See how it's kind of have that weird edge there? I tried to blend it in and it didn't really work. So I think there's a different technique I can use. So let's go ahead and undo that, because that looks terrible. We'll just hit escape. And we'll try a different technique here. So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to hit G. Actually, no. I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to do, I think, duplicate. Yeah, duplicate. And then, I think that means there's two of them now. Okay, now we got two of them. So then, depending on what thickness we want, we're going to go ahead and bridge the gap between the two, and that should make a solid. Theoretically, that should make a solid. You see, we just got to find a way to fill that gap. And I think we can using the loft tool, because we got a nice even gap, and we know now that everything's connected since it let us use the X NURBS. So we just got to figure out, all right, how big do we want this gap? The fender that I made in real life was 2 millimeters thick, and that was about perfect. I guess I'll just know it when I see it. We won't use any measuring tools right now, but like I said, we'll kind of know. I think like that looks pretty good. What do you think? From your guys' house, does that look like 2 millimeters? I think we got something good here. So yeah, I think that'll be thick enough. And if I were to 3D print this, I think I would just 3D print it as one solid. Yeah, this looks sweet. It's definitely, yeah, I think I like this design better than what we had before. It definitely flows better, so we're definitely, we're making progress. Okay, so since we like that, and I think we're going to be happy with that. I think I like this point here, that kind of sharp edge. I don't think we have to blend that too much. So I'll just hit right click, meaning we're happy, and we'll zoom in, and I'm going to hit, we'll select only edges. We'll do this edge and this edge. Oh, am I going to have to go all the way around? I might have to. I could join them all together, but I think we're just going to have to go all the way around. Not the end of the world. I'm sure there is a better way to do this, but I'll learn that eventually. I did actually sign up for a course on using plasticity and 3D modeling, and I've learned a little bit so far, but other than that, I've learned everything just off a YouTube video. Looks like a very average size, a couple millimeters. Yeah, Ethan, this looks a little bit better than the, welcome to the chat, by the way. This looks a little bit better than the original 3D model that we did. So I'm fixing kind of some of the issues using some of the techniques I've learned from when I made this guy by myself. So this one we use the thicken command to widen it up after making the surfaces. This time I made the two surfaces I moved them so they're a couple millimeters apart, which is, like you say, is the perfect size. And then you can really see the cardboard. If you're referencing this little triangle piece right here that we made out of cardboard in real life, because I know you tuned into that stream, that's this piece right here. And you can see just kind of how nice it flows. So it dips in a little bit here, but I think that's because I drew this line to dip in. I could always undo it, move this line out a little bit, but I kind of like how curvy it is. Okay, where were we? We're selecting all the edges, so go around, let's get underneath it. Looks like we got the whole curve. It's a little disorienting. All right, let's get these two edges here. This guy and this guy. And these two guys. Whoop, whoop. This one right here, or let's see, this one in the middle, we just use that as a guide to kind of guide the curve. That's not actually part of the structure at all. So we'll probably delete that soon. Not yet, but soon. I'll select this edge here. Oh, dang it! I forgot to hold shift when I selected that edge. Can I go back? I can go back. Sweet. Okay. That would have sucked. We got it all now? All the way around. I'm bringing it around town here. All right, I think that looks good. And then we're going to use the loft tool, which is basically just a bridge between the two edges. And we shouldn't use a guide. We shouldn't need a guide. I'm going to hit the L button. That should loft it. That should cover all the edges and turn this thing into a solid. If I've done everything correctly here. If I missed a step, it's all going to get messed up. All right, here we go. Wow! Lofted body has an intersection of at least one of its geometries. Whoa, that got crazy. It looked like it worked for a second. I don't need a guide. Did I just do zero continuity? That got weird. Why did it get so weird? Maybe we'll just try to do two edges at a time. Maybe it's too much. Or maybe maybe we'll use the xNerbs command. I doubt it'll work, but give it a shot. We could also use the patch command too, which is a little bit more simple. It doesn't give you like a flawless finish, but it'll plug the hole maybe. Okay, no, didn't want to patch the hole. That's okay. We could try the xNerbs function. I don't think it's going to work. Worth a shot. Oh, we got to select the boundaries again. Yeah, I don't think that's, nah. I think our best bet is just to kind of try to loft one section at a time, and that'll probably just highlight where our problem area is. We must have missed a vertex somewhere, maybe. Okay, so you can loft those. That worked. Okay, select that and that. Loft those. That worked. Although it does leave a little gap here. Huh? Why is it shaped like that? That closed it. Oh, did that just close it? No. Okay, so why is that piece shaped like that? We got to figure that out. Do I want some chocolate? Why, yes, I love it. What is this?
Chocolate.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to draw lines between these. I think that might be the key.
Orange and almond.
Very good. Okay. Oh, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and connect the corners. Now I got some chocolate in me, I'm thinking straight again. We're gonna go ahead and connect the corners. That might be the problem because we basically made an infinity hole and told the computer to patch that, which is impossible. So we got to give the hole edges in order to patch the hole, if you know what I mean. And I think we should just be able to do it in the four corners, and that should be good enough. If you think about it, because then we're just making four really long, skinny, weird-shaped holes. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? You can say something in the chat if you know what I mean. I'm getting lonely over here, guys. Okay, so close that up. Yeah, I guess we'll just go through, close all the edges. Get out of here. Not now. That chocolate was pretty good. Close that up. Okay. Maybe I'll shrink it down real small and then I'll 3D print like a really small version. I actually don't think I have any plastic loaded in my printer right now. And then we'll go ahead and patch this up. I guess actually to have 2 holes, I'd only have to put 1 split. I'd only have to do 1 intersecting line in between the panels, but this should work now. I think this will work just fine. So, lots. That worked just fine. Boop. Okay, that worked good too. Is that good? Did it leave any gaps? Looks like it might have left a little gap. Maybe. Yeah, is there a gap there? Huh. Well, maybe, yeah, I think it does leave little gaps. Strange. Well, I guess maybe we'll try to use the xNURBS function. Or I guess, yeah, we could just use the patch function. Might be better. No need to use the fancy xNURBS if we don't have to. Okay, Shift J, patch. Did that close up the lines? Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Let's make sure. I think that closed them up. Huh? We'll find out. Yeah, I think it might just be playing with my eyes a little bit. I think we're, oh no, that's definitely a gap. Definitely looks like a gap. All right, we'll try to use the xNURBS function. See if that closes up a little better. Huh, no, it still looks like there's a gap there. I wonder why that is. Well, maybe I'll select the, unless it's just the rendering. That could just be it. So let's do, oops, patch that. Yeah, maybe it's just the rendering. Who am I kidding? You already have Hot Wheels. Okay, get a Civic Hot Wheels and do the 1/64 scale or whatever it is. Yeah, that'd be cool. IDK the software, but it's often a check for gaps option. Yeah, maybe we'll check for gaps when we're done. Like I said, it might just be the rendering because we're like so zoomed in on some like really tight corners. Oh, remember Mr. Shaka? Ethan? I remember doing a class like this with him. Patch that. Okay. Yeah, I should be alright. I mean, this is this software you could do like really high definition renders on, so I don't know. Oh, did you see that? Did you see the tolerance option? I wonder if maybe I should play around with that. So I patched it, and then right away this tolerance thing comes up. I wonder if I'm supposed to be playing with that a little bit. If that makes a difference. Because here's like, you can kind of see a little gap here. Does that do anything? What if I say 100? That doesn't want to do anything. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, okay. That did something. my numlock on? Okay, let's try this. 0.005. Maybe that was it. Huh, I don't know. We'll see when it's a solid. Anyway, we're zooming like way in though, so we might just be getting a little picky here. Oh, didn't want to patch that. A patch to fill a hole is created but cannot be successfully attached to the targeted body. Oh. Is this where we're running into an issue, maybe? Oh, yeah, it doesn't like doing a patch if there's like an intersecting line there, I know. Can we do the X-NURBS then? Yes, we can. Let's see. It's got to be G0. So that's a nice feature to have. Yeah, I forgot about that. So if you want to do like a patch here, it does not like when you have an intersecting line like that. It's really annoying. That's part of the reason why I got the studio version, because I was getting kind of frustrated with that. And the studio version gives you the X-NURBS function, which is better for surface modeling, which is kind of the name of the game when you are when you're making over fenders and body kits and stuff like this. Oh. I don't want to select you. Can I patch this piece? Yes, I can. And let me loft that piece, so that's cool. And let me loft that piece, so that's cool. I think. Yeah. Yep. All right, let me loft that piece. So yeah, it's like 100 different ways to skin a cat, you know? You can use the loft tool. That's good for filling in gaps between parallel lines. You can do... I missed... What? I just said his name. What did I forget about? Oh yeah, Derek Shocker. His piercing blue eyes. He like stare at you. So there's a couple different ways to patch holes. You could use the loft tool, which works between intersecting lines. It kind of draws like a ribbon between them. You can use the X-NURBS, which seems to work really good for making paneling that conforms with your adjacent shapes. It's very smooth and gives you a very smooth, shiny finish. Seems to be the most flexible. There's the squares option, which kind of makes a patch and gives you some squares with a control point grid where you can kind of pull and push different parts of the square to kind of give you the waves you want. And then there's just the regular patch, which is kind of just a quick and dirty way to fill a hole. Does not always flow very well. It just kind of takes like the average of all the shapes and fills it in. And it doesn't give you a smooth surface. Lucky I get to play with SolidWorks today at work. Oh, nice. Oh, you get to play with SolidWorks every day at work. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, you're probably pretty damn good at this, but you don't really get surfaces like these in SolidWorks, do you? Maybe not this shiny. So I kind of struggled through that a little bit, but it wasn't bad. So let's go ahead and delete those little guidelines we put in there. So this guy, actually both these guys, these can go. And then here we have it. When we closed all the edges, it should have considered this a solid. So maybe there is a gap somewhere. Hello? Or maybe there is little openings. I can't tell. Yeah, there's definitely an opening there. Weird. What if I go like... Yeah, weird. What if I go like this? No? So there's got to be a workaround for that. Google to check for gaps in plasticity. Find boundary edges command and highlight open edges of gaps on the surface file. Okay. Yeah, I think I've used that one before. Yeah, I ran into this exact problem before. Fine. It's not going to do it for me? It doesn't want to do anything. I wonder if it is because of those little gaps. Huh. What if... Yeah, because now that it's all closed up, it should consider this a solid. Oh, I wonder if I have to join everything together. I wonder if that's the problem. Nah, I don't think so. We could try. I might just have to use the join command. See if that makes a difference. I don't know if it will. Select everything. And then we hit J for join. Boop. Operation has no effect. So maybe that means there is a split somewhere. Can we join all the sheets together? All right, we can join all the sheets together. Can we not join all the... If we can't join all the curves together, maybe that's our problem. No, doesn't want to let us join the curves together. I think maybe you can't join the curves together if they're at a T intersection either. Very weird, very weird. Huh. Well then... Oh, you know what? Now that we joined all the sheets together... I wonder if we just take the sheet and thicken it, if that'll work better. Instead of trying to thicken everything at once. So maybe we'll try that. We'll hide the curves. Let's see. Hide the curves. Select the sheet, which is the whole thing now. Is it the whole front side or the whole back side? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's move it and see what happens. Oh, it takes the whole thing as a sheet. What the heck? Very interesting. Very interesting. Because I have heard that technique. Yeah, just offset them and then use the loft tool to make them solid. But yeah, I definitely see where there could be little gaps here. And obviously the software sees that too. You know what I'm saying? I wonder... We're going to have to take some steps back here, guys. I don't know how many steps back, but we're going to have to take some steps back. Okay. Going through all the different spots here, opening it back up. Luckily, you can take a lot of steps back. We'll get to the point where we kind of brought them together. This must have been where we selected these. Oh, just the edge. Nope, not yet. Okay, so that's where we duplicated it. Okay, let's see here. There's all our edges. I don't want to do that right now. So from here, we got a bunch of sheets. And no duplicates. So let's go ahead, select all the sheets, and see if we can join those together. I was not gonna like that now. Oh, maybe I have to select faces? And can I join those? No, the input faces are not from the same body. If you are trying to join two sheet bodies, select both bodies and join them. Interesting. Very interesting. So there shouldn't be any gaps in here. Yeah, so what I did last time was I used the thicken command, but I don't think I want to use that this time around. Maybe I'll get rid of that line first. Maybe that caused some issues. But everything should be flowed together really nice. All the curves and stuff should be joined. Oh, can I select every face? What does that do? Whoa, look at that. You can explode it. Oh. That was kind of cool. But that's not what we want to do. Yeah, because if you try to use the thicken command, it gets all weird. I used that before, and it works, but it's just... it kind of throws everything off. See what I mean? It's like every intersection gets kind of spread out, and I don't want that. It kind of all goes in different directions. So we don't want that. Kind of funny looking. But yeah, I thought I found that if you don't want to have to do that, the best way was just kind of separate them, close the gaps around the two panels, and then you should be good. But I wonder if something's not joined or what the deal is here. Should be able to highlight everything and just join it, but operation has no effect. Very strange. Let me take a picture and see if maybe AI has an answer for me. So let's see. I'll make sure I have all the sheets and stuff in there. That's very interesting. Although AI's been lying to me a lot lately. How do I take this over fender I made from a bunch of surfaces of sheets and turn it into a solid without using the thicken command? I tried to duplicate and offset, then close the gaps, but it didn't turn into a solid. See if it's got any answers for us. Okay, it looks like you're using plasticity. Creating a solid from the complex surfaces like an overfender can be tricky if the geometry has tight curves or overlapping edges. If thicken is failing or producing a messy geometry, the manual offset and patch method is your best bet, but it requires a specific final step to tell the software the volume is closed. Here's how to turn those sheets into a solid. Since you already tried duplicating and offsetting, make sure you're using the offset shell command rather than just transform move. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's the problem. select all the sheets, the original, offset, and the new lofted edges. Oh, okay. Look at your outliner on the left. If the icon says sheet, there's a gap somewhere. If the icon changes to solid, you have successfully created a manifold solid. Okay, check for duplicate curves. Sometimes extra curves on the edges can prevent a clean join. Select all edges. Use the refractor or merge tools to snap any tiny gaps, often caused by the offset command not being one-to-one on complex corners. That might be our issue. Checks for self-intersection. Overfenders often have sharp returns near the wheel well. If your offset distance is too large, the geometry might be crashing into itself, which will prevent it from becoming a solid. Huh. I don't know. Let's try this again. So we'll try the offset technique. So I think if I select everything and I press O, it'll offset. The edges do not all belong to a single body, so maybe that's our issue. So something's not joining. Something somewhere is not happy. I don't know where. Can I join all the faces? The input faces are not from the same body. If you're trying to join two sheet bodies, select both bodies and join them. So let's try these first. Can we join those? No. Can I join these? No. What's going on here? Let's try these edges first. So I was able to join those. That's cool. Can this one join the party? That can join the party. Can that one? Hold on. All right, that one joined the party. How about this guy? Can he join the party? He can join the party. Can he join the party? Yes, he can. How about him? No, he cannot join the party. I think we might have found our culprit. He can join the party. He can join the party. Oh, he can't either. But is it because it's that T? Is that why? They don't like the... I don't think they like it when there's a T there. Of course, that lets it. I wonder, yeah. And then, of course, I bet you it won't let this join because it's got that T. Gap in supplied boundary. I don't want to patch a hole right now. Operation has failed. Yes. That might be part of the problem. Yeah, some of them do not want to join. Yeah, it seems like anytime there's a T, plasticity does not like that. Okay, well, let's see if I can join the faces together. Okay, that worked. That didn't work. So those didn't want to join together for some reason. That worked. So it seems to be having some trouble right in here. And it doesn't want to join these either. That's so strange. Yeah, it's very strange. Due to the problems with the input faces, one or more reports will be generated. Huh. Yeah, so yeah, is it like there's just tiny gaps in there? Hard to tell. They're not from the same body. If you're trying to join two sheet bodies, select both bodies to join. I am. So if I go sheet and solid, maybe it'll like that better. Okay, maybe that's the move. Maybe that's the move then. Because now this whole thing is a sheet. Maybe Very interesting. Now is it just all one here? Now it's just all one sheet. Interesting, okay. That's very strange. Interesting technique there. So when I had sheet and solid, it wanted to join, but not when I had faces selected. Huh. Okay, well now can I offset this one sheet that I have selected and see if it likes that? Nope, invalid precondition. Very interesting. What if I use the thicken command now? Does that want to work? Likely cause of self-intersections of region that take opposite sides. That doesn't want to work. Interesting. Okay, if I start joining the curves now, will it let me? I go edges. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, this is a little tricky. That's why I got to take that plasticity course, find out what's going on here. I'm just trying to thicken this just a little bit. All I need is just kind of open it up. Try offset again. Supplied edges are not smoothly. Okay, I'll tell AI that it's saying that the supplied edges. Just look at it. All right, that's interesting. Sometimes the chats come up on the screen, but they don't come up on my side here. So don't get clips as what are we working on today? We're basically designing a new over fender for the Civic based off the actual Civic scan. So I'll show you. This is the scan we took the other day. Oh look, and it's right in line. So we kind of built it right off of this. So you can take our sheet here, move it on out, orient. Oh, wrong direction. We want to move it in the, hold on. We want to move it in the Y direction, I guess. Yep. So check that out. So we made this over fender based off of the fender we got right here. This is the real life scan of my car. We took this one yesterday on the live stream, playing around with the new einstar Vega. It was my first time doing a scan. Turned out pretty good. And we kind of changed up the design a little bit. So as you can see on my car, get this out of the way. On my car, it's just flat here, where on our new fenders, it's kind of that cinch style, which everybody likes these days. On my car, you can see I kind of have it blended into this molding piece here, but here I have it going from that trapezoid and right in kind of blended into the flare shape. Then on my car, there is an opening underneath the fender. See that here? In our new design, we close that up. So that's all the changes we've made so far. Now my goal is to take this piece here and offset it so it goes from a surface to a solid. And I'm having some trouble with that right now. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But I think it might, I think it's just because there's like little microscopic holes in it. I think it's the issue. But I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to close those up. I don't think there's any holes along the flare. I mean, a couple little tiny ones. But some spots like here, I wonder if that's causing some issues. Maybe. Oh, you know what? There might be an overlap here. That might be the issue. So there's a curve there, a curve here, and that calls it a whole curve. So maybe we have an overlap. Maybe that's the problem. Let's go, wife made orange chicken. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, on my computer here, on my streaming software, the chat's not updating. Very strange. But good to see that your wife made some orange chicken. That's awesome. So yeah, maybe we got an issue right here. So let's go. Yeah, what's going on there? Maybe extend that a little bit. Is that going to cause issue? Maybe we'll extend that to make sure that's fully intersected, and then we'll delete. We'll go face, and then we'll delete this face. Interesting. Very interesting. That's weird. I didn't call that a new sheet. It's just a face. Let's go ahead. Let's take a step back here. Let's see if we can find that curve. And our list of curves here. Huh? Should highlight it. Oh, all the curves are still in the car. Okay. Let's go back to there then. Let's go back. This is probably where our issue is. It's like, do we have some overlapping curves in here? We might have a little overlap going on. So that one. That one. Get the sheet out of the way. There must be an issue with our line somewhere. So we got that curve. Oh yeah, I don't think that should be like that. So that goes all the way around to here, but then it stops because it doesn't want to join here. So I can select that one and see if that wants to join. Nope, it does not. So I think that's our problem area right here. Maybe there's some overlap. So there's that curve. Is there issue? Huh. Oh, maybe there's an overlap. I'm not sure. Very interesting. It seems not to like the curves where they're joined as a T, but I mean, we got a sheet now, and since that's one solid piece, or it views it as one solid, we should be able to extrude that sheet. So maybe we'll try to duplicate the sheet and then offset the sheet and then fill those gaps, where before we duplicated the set of curves. So we'll give that a shot. So we'll do Shift D to duplicate, and then we'll just move it along the y-axis a little bit. I don't know how much. Let's call that good. And we'll try this again. So if we just close one of the edges, I had this theory where if I just close one edge, then technically we have two faces, or two sections where we can kind of loft. Make sure those are connected right. All right, that looks okay. Oh, but see, look at that. See, that's why you got to be careful, because you zoom in and see how that's not connected there? It's like you think it's connected, but it's not. It's very tricky. Very tricky. All right. So you really gotta pay attention. Okay. Yeah, something as simple as that can kind of catch you up. I think we're looking good now. I don't know if there's a way to kind of like double check that stuff in plasticity, but hopefully that fixes our issues. So now we should be able to loft all the way around, I think. Maybe. Okay, so that works. And then what did it? And then we'll use this as a guide. It should flatten that curve out. Perfect. Oh, okay. Unsuitable continuity conditions beside on profiles or guide. Typically, this means that specified continuity of the profiles does not match the continuity of the guides. For example, G2 profile constraint with a G1 guide or G1 profile constraint with a G0 guide. So much to learn. Okay, we can do both in G0, which is just flat profile. So that's okay. All right. So it looked like it got upset when it came time to get to this port. Okay, so it didn't like lofting around that sharp kink there. But we should be able to go, try this. For this complicated section, we'll go in. Oh, and I wonder if that, I don't know if that, no, that shouldn't cause issue. We'll go in and select this, this. And we'll just go all the way around and try the xNURBS function. I don't think it'll work, but it's worth a shot. No, don't want you. Jeez. Finicky, very finicky. We'll give this a shot, and if this doesn't work, I'll do some more research off air here and see if eventually I can find a way, and maybe we'll do a little bit more work tomorrow. And then maybe we'll scan the rear of the car and design a rear over fender that we like. Or maybe we'll try to find a scan of a different car online and then do a car that's different than the Civic, because we just kind of been focusing on my Civic this whole time. It'd be nice to kind of change things up a little bit. But while we're kind of looking, just make sure everything looks good. It's going to be a complicated piece here. Alright, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. Try to close this all at once. We'll try to use the xNURBS function first, as that seems to be the most flexible for us. No, okay, cannot satisfy the tolerance required. It looks like it wants to work. No. Select guides. I guess there is no guides. We selected the boundaries already. I don't really have it. Well, I guess this is the guide. Nah, I didn't like that. Okay. Although it kind of looks like it liked it. It looks like it plugged the hole. Maybe not. Nope. Plug this side? That side, yeah. But I think that's because we lofted that piece. Okay, so I only like to do that one area. Weird. Okay, well, we're learning here. So let's try the loft command. I didn't like that either. Patch command? Oh, more than one loop of edge geometry. Yeah, that makes sense. So it does like when we have... Well, can we do this piece all at once, maybe? Line there. Point to point. We should be able to patch that. No? What? Can we loft that? No? What? Can that we use the xNURBS on? There we go, that worked. Alright, that's another piece. And that took care of a little bit of geometry there, so that should help. And it looks like, yeah, there's no gaps there. Okay, so far we're gap free. So I guess we're just gonna have to be real careful working through here. It might have been, we might have been using the right technique with using the X nerves, but it could have just been one little vertex that we were missing. Could have messed the whole thing up. It's tricky like that. And when you're going fast, it's really easy to miss all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's plugged all right. God, I really hope this works this time. And then afterwards, I think I can go in, and I should be able to delete these, or dissolve them. Maybe not. Can I delete that line? No, it doesn't want to. Okay, that's all right. So add another line. We'll just do one piece at a time. Double check we're in the right spot. Yep. Okay, all good. Any problems? Yeah, I don't know. It looks a little fishy there. Okay, see there, it wanted me to, that one might be off. Yeah, see that one's off. We didn't even know. And maybe we want to do another one across here, just because there's that T intersection and it doesn't seem to like those. So that could have been giving us a problem too. Ah man, I hope this works this time. So far so good though. Okay. And do I have a split over here? Yeah, and at this point, it's like I don't have a bridge there. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a bridge there. I think what happens is we're just creating too much of a complicated geometry. I think this just causing some issues. So the more you can simplify the geometry, the less the computer's got to work. Just tricky in some of these spots, like right here. It's like, man, got to zoom in quite a bit. Make sure we got the edge there. Okay, select. Man, I hope this works this time. If it works or if it doesn't work, that'll be the end of the stream today. But let's just hope it works. Okay, select that edge there. Double check our work. Yep, I think that looks good. Looks good enough for my house. Okay, we're good there. Moving on down the line. Yep, we'll do a cross here just to be safe. Might as well do a line here. So I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but if it helps us out, we're going to keep it there. Gives the computer just a little less to think about. Because otherwise, it's got to find out a way to kind of go around that sharp corner. Okay, so it's having an issue here. I use that as a guide. So let's see what's going on. Gap and supplied boundary edges. Okay, is it over here? And then you see that gap right there? It's like, what's going on there? Maybe I'll take a picture of those gaps and see what's going on. Ask ChatGPT, hey, what's up with this? Well, let's try draw a line here. Oh, see, look at that. You think you got it, but it's just a little bit off. Damn. It's like that. It's like that. I think there's a way to snap to vertex. I think if I go here, And then is it a heavy? Did that snap the vertex? I don't remember. I'll figure that out though. There's got to be something really simple I'm missing. Oh, maybe it was this right here. Okay. So that worked that time. There we go. All right. God, I hope this works this time. I was talking it in. And I think this is all one strip here. Yeah, no interruptions, so this should hopefully work. Let's see, are we completely closed up now? I think that's all. The gaps. Yep, that's good. That looks good, that looks good. Looks good. So it should be considered a solid now. Still not though. What could be going down? Not sure. Maybe make sure everything in here is. Let's see if it lets us join everything in here. It did. Okay, so it did let me join everything there, all the curves and sheets. So that's kind of a good sign. But it did. I don't think it added it as a solid yet, though. That's a good sign. It's all one sheet, though. Huh. Still calls it a sheet. But it seems to be highlighting like the whole thing. That edge and the back edge. It's like the whole thing is highlighted. Unless it just looks at it like it's a thick sheet, you know? Or it's like, oh, it's a sheet, it just happens to be a little thicker. Because if I go to move it, it does move the whole thing. So, although it calls it a sheet, I mean, is it technically a solid here? Because you think if it was a sheet, it would just move just the face, you know? I'm just moving one sheet. Unless there is a gap somewhere we're missing. But I don't know. It sees different faces, and they're all right. Everything looks good there. If I do that, okay, so it seemed like I can. So, okay, let me join face there. Oh, it's calculating. Hold on, do your thing. Please work. Oh, did not attempt to fit the input faces due to problems with input faces. What the heck? It seemed like it wanted to work for a second there. What about these? Can I join these? Does that work? No. Does it fit the input faces due to problems with input faces? Hold on, I can't read that fast. One or more reports be generated describing the problems with maybe. Sharp edges, tight curvature. Okay, so sharp edges and tight curvature can cause issues, I guess. Well, that's all 3D modeling is, you know? Yeah, we haven't joined. I thought we were good. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, hey, what are all these blue specks here? Oh, those are all little lines. Oh, All those lines didn't get joined in with the... Maybe that's the issue. Oh, what does it say this is? That says it's just part of the sheet. Interesting. Very interesting. I can... Oh, maybe if I go around and... I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it fillet or fillet? Let's go ahead and fillet all the corners. Or fillet all the corners. Maybe that'll make it know it's like, hey man, this is a solid. Maybe you don't like the sharp edges. I don't know. That's always very satisfying, though. It's always a good looking thing to do. And here we can't do it, I don't think. Well, let's see. It might make a weird shape if we do this. That seemed to work all right. Okay, whatever. We'll roll with it. I guess we'll just double check all our work, make sure everything looks good. And especially in 3D printed parts, having the fillets does make it stronger. And it does look a lot nicer doing that. Here, I don't know if we can do it though. Yeah, it might cause an issue. I don't know if we want to do it here. But we could definitely do the top corner. Alright. And we got a good looking piece, that's for sure. Did I call it a solid? No, it's still not considering it a solid. Can I highlight everything now and it'll join maybe? No, these lines over here. Let's get rid of these. Boop. We've got a cool part. So there's something to be said about this. Let's see if we can change the color of it. I think if I hit M for material, yeah, we can change the color of this guy. Should we make this one yellow today? I'll make this one purple maybe. Very nice. Well, there you have it, though. There's a new design for us. Pretty slick. Let's see if we can take this now and put it on the EK, the low poly EK model. See how well it fits. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to make this a solid. Like I said, I did sign up for a course to see maybe that'll help me kind of figure it out. But let's go ahead and take this and put it on the EK Civic. This little guy. Yeah, let's scale up the Civic a little bit. Whoop. Oops. if it fits, I mean, someone could use this in like a video game or something. That'd be cool. It's actually pretty close. Oh. Okay. Okay, so it's close. It's not perfect. No, it's not too bad. And it looks like we just gotta move it out a little bit. Ah, damn it. There you go. So that's how it would look if I had more of like a cinch style flare on an EK Civic. Not too bad. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all. What do you guys think of that? So we got 4 people watching right now. So that's not a bad look at all. Bring it on back. Yeah, I'll find a way to kind of turn this into a solid. I don't know exactly what needs to be done, but we'll get it figured out. But that's going to be it for today. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you found some of this stuff interesting. I know, yeah. So that's kind of the workflow. That's kind of how I design stuff in plasticity. Obviously, I still got a lot to learn, but we can at least make basic kits, basic shapes, something where we can export and probably print it already. So not too bad. Oh, there we go. We can paint match it all. Very cool. Yeah, that's kind of a cool look. Very cool. Yeah, I'll probably make a little reel showing this off. I like that. That's very nice. All right, well, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you guys are interested in checking out plasticity. Otherwise, yeah, if you guys prefer using the Blender workflow or whatever, that's all up to you. But this kind of shows how the process goes. Thank you for the love. And I will see you, I guess, tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a little bit more learning, and then maybe I'll find a print or a scan of somebody else's car online, and then we'll design a kit for that. I've had a couple requests, so maybe if we find one of the scans, or if we find some file online of somebody else's requested kit, we'll do one for free. So Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you then. Goodbye.